I remember talking to Bill Belichick before the Texans played the Patriots in the postseason. And it was a really interesting take that Bill had to me where he's like, every player has a catch radius, right? He's like, Hop's catch radius is so unique that any defensive back usually has an understanding of the radius the receiver they're going against has, right? He's like, Hop's is like another 2 feet in every direction than the corner thinks it is. So that, like, not understanding that and it being so different than every other receiver, like, is very, very difficult on a corner. Like, there's no way that ball's not getting thrown there. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't fit Hop's build, but that's why he is, as Bill O'Brien told me, the best receiver in terms of working the sideline, footwork on the sideline, like, that he's ever seen. The point I'm making with this is that's something that Mahomes is going to have to learn about him. Like, I can put the ball here and he'll go and get it. Once you understand that, Deshaun Watson figured that out. Once you understand that, like, you can utilize him on another level.
James Palmer joining us now to talk about DeAndre Hopkins to the Kansas City Chiefs. James, how you doing?
I'm good, guy. I thought that was a sport coat with a T-shirt at first.
Yeah,
and I was like, "What?" And I was like, "What time is it?" Like,
it's the breaking news team. So I got to class up the joint a little bit. Yeah, so like every time there's breaking news, I throw on the small little chain, the sport coat, obviously the Super Bowl champs hat, and we just riff on breaking news for how
does this hang like a Batman costume in your closet? Like, you open up and you pull her out right when it's ready to,
especially in the off season.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in the off season it stays ready. The sport coat was ready.
The signal.
I think the group DM
where you go. Yeah.
The group DM was breaking news team assemble.
I thought I saw breaking was crossed out.
I did cross out breaking, yeah, because like I was asleep. That's what happened.
I was asleep too. Last night, I'm sitting there. I'm watching Twisters. Have you guys seen Twisters yet?
Phenomenal
with Glenn Powell. Yeah, my son wants to be Glenn Powell, and I mean, it was just like understandable. And I'm texting people, and I'm hearing like, yeah, we're gonna make a move. And I'm like, cool. Yeah. It's gonna be a big thing tomorrow. And wake up this morning, and I'm like, oh, and I text back. I'm like, so the move happened. Thanks for the heads up. Yeah.
So, James, thoughts on this move? I mean, you've covered DeAndre Hopkins. I know you know him. So how do you feel about it from the Chiefs' perspective? And then I want to get your thoughts on DeAndre's perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I did Hop's first interview as a professional football player in the NFL. Him and I sat down. It was his first interview, the 27th overall pick in Houston, and I snagged him right away. And right after the draft, we ended up doing a sit down together. So I've known Hop for a long time. He is, I think, still has maybe the best hands in the NFL. And we know the way Pat works, right? Like, trust is such a huge thing between quarterback and receiver. It might be like even at another level with the way Pat works. Like, he needs to trust you. Hence why Noah Gray gets targets. Like, he needs to trust you to throw you the football. I think the way Hop operates, which is a bit of a freelancer, but at the same time, he catches everything, and anything at him, you will learn pretty quickly is not going to be picked off. It's either going to be caught by him or it's going to be incomplete. The ones that are, obviously, he's played with some quarterbacks in his day, that some of those aren't his fault, but if it's in his vicinity, he makes the play on it. This is a really interesting one. Like, it's popped into my head. I remember talking to Bill Belichick before the Texans played the Patriots in the postseason. And it was a really interesting take that Bill had to me where he's like, every player has a catch radius, right? He's like, Hop's catch radius is so unique that any defensive back usually has an understanding of the radius the receiver they're going against has, right? He's like, Hop's is like another 2 feet in every direction than the corner thinks it is. So that, like, not understanding that and it being so different than every other receiver, like, is very, very difficult on a corner. Like, there's no way that ball's not getting thrown there. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't fit Hop's build, but that's why he is, as Bill O'Brien told me, the best receiver in terms of working the sideline, footwork on the sideline, like, that he's ever seen. The point I'm making with this is that's something that Mahomes is going to have to learn about him. Like, I can put the ball here and he'll go and get it. Once you understand that, Deshaun Watson figured that out. Once you understand that, like, you can utilize him on another level in Belichick's mind, especially with balls towards the sideline, especially with balls in certain places in the red zone where it's like, I can put it here. He'll be the only one that can get it. And the defenders usually are like, nobody can go get that ball. Hop usually can. And so I think the red zone is going to be a big part of this, but that has to build pretty quickly, obviously in the situation that they're in. And I don't know why, but I just kind of feel like it will, just because of his as veteran of a guy as Hop is, and how Pat, I think, will start understanding him. But there are like a couple of other things, like he's not a big practice guy, and he's a big practice guy. But like, would that be a problem? I don't think so. Like, I think oftentimes you see guys at this point in their career, was he 32? And he hasn't been close to a ring. Usually when you change scenery, you see the guy be like, whatever you guys need. Like, I don't know how many more of these seasons I got. Whatever you guys need, I'm in. So I could see that being kind of something that's not really an issue. They're going to try to get him to play, man. They're going to try to get him to play this Sunday, from my understanding. We won't know till later in the week, what he can do. But Connor's got his work cut out for him, I was told. I mean, get to know him quick.
That's my question for you, because you've been around him, just his personality, because you know the locker room the Chiefs have, the internal mottos, the formula. They know what they need to do to win. What is it about DeAndre's personality that you know that at this point in his career, with the opportunity that he has, that makes you think that this will be a good fit coming in the middle of a season, having to play catch up, but kind of acclimate himself, and being, as Maddie brought up earlier in the show, like he's been the alpha, he's been the dude everywhere he's been. Now he's going to come in, he's got to play catch up and kind of be that final piece, or the piece to the puzzle that might be missing for him right now. Yeah,
because Hop's a different cat, man. Like he's unique. He we know the interests that he has away from football and fashion and hanging out in Paris. Like he is not wired the same as a lot of other guys in terms of what they're interested in. But when it comes to football, like he's a unique player, for sure. I think the buy-in will be there for what I just kind of said, BJ, right? Like, it's just like, I think where he's at in his career, and he knew that this team was interested in him before the 2023 season. Brett was kind of enamored with him. And so I think he thrives in like a chaotic situation. I think he's going to be maybe at his best, honestly, when Pat starts running around, which we don't see as often as we used to. But like, I can see him in red zone issues like that and things like thriving pretty well. In terms of the locker room, like I'm trying to remember, did him and Justin Reed cross over in Houston at all? I don't think they did. Maybe they did for a year.
They should have for a year or two.
Yeah, like a year or two. So I think Justin would know. Like, and here's I think that locker room is so, like, I'm doing something later today on Bleacher Report about this. Like, the buy-in that group has is rare, man. Like, they're literally morphing into a run team right now, and like nobody's arguing in the locker room, to my understanding. Like, there's no pushback from the locker room to the coaching staff who's like, no, right now we're going to pound the shit out of the ball. Like, are you guys down with it? They're like, yeah, let's do it. Like that. So like, I do think that rubs off, because it's such, like, there's such a buy-in with everybody. There's no malcontents. And when you win while that's happening, it's just way easier. And so I don't think the new guy comes in and causes problems the minute he walks into that locker room in Kansas City. And he likes that is the basketball hoop still up? I've been in the locker room.
It has to be. There's no way that thing came down.
Wouldn't allow that.
They played basketball at Clemson, man. He's going to be stoked to see that basketball hoop up there, man. He was on Clemson's basketball team.
And here's another one for you. There's a lot that gets made out of like the Chiefs and stuff about the offensive system and how complicated it is and difficult it is to bring guys in. And that's something that Andy Reid specifically likes to like make sure everyone knows. Do we think there's like a reason they would lean towards a guy that's a veteran like Hopkins, who's been in multiple different systems, over maybe some other guys that have been available or younger, just like kind of how that integration goes, and why Hopkins might be the kind of guy that breaks the mold of not wanting to bring in new people?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Like, I think there's a lot of boxes for trades to happen that have to be checked. Like, I love that, like, I was just on the, I was doing this like live stream about this on Bleacher Report and all, and there's like a chat with all these people like asking me like a million, like, where's Cooper Kupp go? Like, for a trade to happen, like, a lot needs to be checked off, right? And so with this, let's go through it with the Chiefs, right? Like, they didn't want to give up a day one or day two pick. That was part of it. They didn't have a whole lot of money to work with. That's part of it. And then, you're in a situation where you mentioned the system, and the player needs to find a way to fit into the system as well. And the Chiefs are maybe bigger on that than a lot of other places. receiver coming in midseason is tough. Like I remember after the Rashee Rice injury, and I'm texting with all these people in the Chiefs building, and it's kind of like, man, it is not easy to walk in. We don't like guys to walk in. We actually don't prefer it. And that's why I think they actually were waiting. Like, if the Juju injury doesn't happen, like, I'm curious if they wait another week and see where they can be, because they don't like somebody walking in. Like, they were kind of cool. It was like, we're going to see what's what. Like, that was kind of their motto after the Rice injury. And so all those things show you that they weren't jumping at the chance to do this. And then those other boxes needed to be checked. I mean, they got 2 third-round picks. So now you get a fifth that can possibly become a fourth, and you keep both those threes. That's a part of it as well, because we know how well Veach drafts and how much he values those picks at the same time. He's a really good general manager at being aggressive towards this window they're in with the three-peat and also not mortgaging the future. So, like, I know this is kind of like a soliloquy in a sense, but like these all need to be checked and probably some whiteboard in Veach's office of making sure a trade can go down. And then the last part of it is like, this trade would check all of these. What type of player are we getting? We've done a lot of work on DeAndre Hopkins in the past, right? If you've been interested in him to the level that Brett Veach has been interested in DeAndre Hopkins, you did a whole book. Some QC guy has a binder that he brought back to Brett Veach a couple weeks ago that's like this thick on DeAndre Hopkins about everything that they know that he brings to the table. So there was definitely an understanding of whether he can do it. And then, you can move him along, I think. And I think that's the other part that comes into this. I don't think you wanted to give up too much, which I want to get your guys' opinion on this first before I move on. A bunch of people in this chat when I'm doing this thing like 15 minutes ago was like, what other receiver do the Chiefs trade for? Like, I was like, what? They're not going to get another receiver. Like, I mean, I'm not crazy for thinking that, right? Like, or kind of knowing that, like, but
I don't, because with the institutional knowledge of everything that you just mentioned on what it's going to take to get somebody up to speed, putting another one on Connor, like you said, I don't know if they can do that.
It's already a lot of a broken passing offense. Like, now we're going to just put 2 guys out there that don't know the offense. Like,
Pat's going to draw up plays on the football before he goes and just go out there.
If we're doing drawn up plays, DeMarcus Robinson makes sense again. Hold on.
Yeah, it's
Wait a second. I can make this make sense. No, exactly. I don't think we would add another.
And I remember texting some people, I was like, when MVS got released, right? And I was like, you guys interested in, like, just, I know you would like to bring somebody back that knows. And it was like, we'll see. So, like, there wasn't a whole lot of aggression, honestly, early on. And then after Juju's injury, it kind of got turned up a notch. But the other part of this, I think, that maybe isn't being talked about enough is, what did we see 2 years ago with Rashee Rice? Like, how the year went in his rookie year. Like, how it built. And by the postseason, he's like Pat's primary option, essentially. And you hope that happens with Xavier Worthy, but there's a chance. So, like, I'm just looking at it as a group going like, okay, like, Juju, like, showed us some things. But obviously he goes down, he'll be back. Xavier Worthy's going to continue to grow and grow. To my understanding, as of this morning, like, there's a legitimate chance or real chance. We'll see. Obviously there's a big time window between it that, like, Hollywood Brown comes back by the postseason. And then it's like, did you need to go trade for another guy on top of it? So then you got like Hopkins, who gets 11 games to understand what's going on. You get Xavier Worthy to continue to grow, within this offense. Juju's still an option. Travis is still there. We're seeing them run the football more, play more tight ends. And then Hollywood Brown comes back. Like, they could be at their best, like, their first playoff game, honestly, as an offense. Like, the best we've seen this season. Because you guys might know better than me, but I had some conversations during training camp that were like, the chemistry between Mahomes and Hollywood Brown was like this. Like, it was humming during training camp. So, all of that together makes me go, it could be wild.
Do it again. They're going to do it again.
Sorry, I started laughing earlier because Derek Hernandez put out the Veach is in his Cougar era, and it caught me pretty good.
That's a good one.
Well, actually, my buddy
he doesn't trade for an older guy. Like, it doesn't happen a whole lot. So.
No, he doesn't. But, like, here's the thing. Like, my good buddy Albert Breer put this out, and I think it's kind of true. Like, they're becoming the Patriots. Like, they're really becoming the Patriots, where you see guys return, you see guys leave, and they're not very successful when they leave, and then they come back. Like, it's that used to happen in New England all the time, and it's funny. You guys should check it out. There was a Jim Gray show. Belichick and Brady were talking about kind of this very similar thing with the Chiefs, like how they've morphed and can change the way they used to throughout their years. And it's kind of interesting. And so there are some parallels between the organizations. You guys would know as Chiefs fans too, like the hate is paralleled now too, huh? Yeah, by opposing fans. And so like there is a parallel in how you have the ability with continuity to change each year. And you kind of had the benefit when like McCole Hardman leaves and is just obsolete with the Jets. He comes back and has a role. Like Juju Smith-Schuster, same thing. Like you just have that ability to do that with guys. It's interesting.
The fact that everybody hates us now makes me so badly want the first play against the Raiders to be a deep shot to DeAndre Hopkins. If everyone in the NFL is like, fuck.
Yeah. I don't know about the deep ball to Hop these days, but
just throw it up there.
You just throw it up there is not a bad thing with him. I mean,
we've talked about this before. Has Mahomes ever had a wide receiver like this? That has this. I mean, there's not a lot of receivers like DeAndre Hopkins, to be honest.
Exactly.
Even at this point in his career, I don't know if he's had a receiver with this body, this skill set, that he can make a play like that and just throw it up there somewhere.
Yeah, like that I mean, during his heyday, I mean, he's like the best 50-50 ball, in my opinion, guy in the league. And it wasn't like, and the funny part is he's like 6'1"-ish. He's country strong, man. He's country strong. I used to always hear in Houston, it was like, he can lift with the O-lineman. Like, that was always what guys used to say in Houston. They were like, dude, he'll go lift with the O-lineman. Like, he doesn't look it, but he's country strong, man. He's hops as strong as they come. And those like 4X hands. So, no, I don't know if he has played with somebody like this, honestly. I'm trying to go through, and it's like, early on it was, the team that has all the speed in the world, and then like this type of player, I think, changes the way they're wired, because what did we learn last year? Like, they can be a dink and dunk, like meticulously move the football down the field type team. Hop could get them back to that. I mean, I can see him being a big third down guy, or at least you got to spread it around on third down, or at least you got something else to worry about on third down, which I think helps them. But yeah, I don't know if he's played with somebody like this now that I think about it. I mean, like, Travis is kind of it just because of the way he plays, but not really like you throw it up and he'll just out muscle everybody around him, but his ability to find space in tight windows. But yeah, he's a unique receiver. Honestly, he's been a really fun guy to cover for a long time, because he thinks of like the game really differently. Like, he always told me he always loves to study receivers that are like nothing like him. Like, back in the day, he used to always study Julian Edelman, he told me, because like Julian, he's like, why would I study a guy this is a great quote, and I'm kind of rambling here, but this is funny. Hopkins is like, you were talking at his locker, and he's like, why would I study anybody who's built like me? I'm already the best of the guys who are built like me. So why don't I study the guys who are different? Like, what does Julian do that makes him really, really good? I mean, and this was like, I'm saying this is when Edelman's playing, so this is when Hop's like at his prime, whatever. But he's like, how does Julian always find a way to get a first down? Like, when he catches it from between 8 and 10 yards, and he's within 2 yards of a first down, how does he always find a way? I want to add that to my game. Like, so he would always study guys that were different than him, body size, style of play, to try to add that to kind of his arsenal. He's an interesting dude, man. He really, really is.
Now he gets to be around a quarterback that's different than any other quarterback that he's been around throughout his career. So, James, man, we appreciate you asking for 10 minutes, and you gave about 25. We appreciate it. As the guy that did DeAndre Hopkins' first professional interview, I could say I did Patrick Mahomes' first Chiefs interview. First Chiefs interview, Radio Row, 3 months before we drafted him.
Wow.
I said, what do you know about the Chiefs? Start talking about Chris Ballard coming to his games and all this stuff. And I was like, we're going to have to stop that. I can't use it. We can't post this. Like, we can't do this. Like, he's not the area. Willie Davis is the area. Talk about Willie being down at your game.
Yeah.
You can't say that the number 2 has gone down. And
I got a DeAndre Hopkins glove somewhere around here that he hit me with when I was doing a game. Like, on the sideline, he got done doing his pregame warm-up, and I'm there like talking, and he hit me in the head with a glove, like on live TV. And so I kept the glove, obviously. But he's got like the world's largest hands, like on the planet. Yeah, man. It's gonna be really fun to watch. I mean, he's just a creative, dynamic receiver that when he gets between the lines, I mean, he's about as competitive as you can be. I mean, he really is, man. He's wired differently when that ball gets snapped, man. And so it's gonna be fun, guys. It's gonna be real fun. Enjoy the hate. Yeah.
We welcome it at this point. We fought for a long time, and now it's just we accept it. Now we embraced it. Like, you know what?
Did you do it? Like, listen, I know this is longer than I wanted, but now I'm curious from your guys' thing. What has been? I know I didn't get to watch it. I'm sorry, but I saw it.
Yes.
Like, you put out a thing about after Pat did not run out of bounds.
Yeah,
were you heated about that?
You know what? There are a lot of reasons to hate the Chiefs. There's going to be like 50-50 plays that you can complain about and say they shouldn't have done that. It just seems like when people really dig in, and I say people like nationally, that it spurns the conversation locally, that it blows up and more people nationally start talking about it. The pass interference against the Bengals earlier this year, the people said the flag shouldn't have been thrown. Like, of all the plays that you could pick, you picked that one.
Yeah.
And then this one saying that Mahomes went out of bounds. Maybe on...
They said he went out of bounds?
They're saying that he took advantage of soft-ass rules by quarter. This was Dwight Freeney went on the Up and Adam show and said that Patrick made that play, longest scramble of his career, because he was taking advantage of soft-ass rules because nobody wants to hit the quarterback along the sideline. And then you watch the play. That was not what happened on that play. And it could happen. Chiefs could benefit from rules that protect quarterbacks at some point, and probably have. Every team has. You're going to protect your quarterback. Just seems like when people really dig in, they do it in the wrong situations, and that one just kind of triggered me a little bit. I was like, you know what? I'm going to spend 5 minutes showing some very simple angles of a video and show that is not what happened on this play.
Okay.
So, yeah, and my wife and daughter were out of town. They went to the Taylor Swift concert, so I had a little extra time.
You were ready to.
And I was like, hey.
BJ's like 5 whiskeys deep. He's like, I'm going to show the internet. I'm going to show this internet who's boss. I would say this, because I brought it up because I had an opinion. Like, is there anything wrong with taking advantage of the rules?
No, I mean,
what's
the fact that Bills fans were doing it, and we've seen Josh Allen fake slide, and like very obviously what he was doing. That's not what Mahomes did on that play.
If anything, first of all, I think it was kind of a bad angle. I think he did. I'll be honest, BJ. I think there is a difficulty for defenders at the sideline. It just exists. Yes. I don't think the angle was great. That he took. I can't remember the defender's name, but that he took out.
It was D. Winters. He was linebacker, and he got blocked by Kareem Hunt. If you watch the video, it'll give you a good angle of it, Jay.
And so, but here's the point. If you don't take advantage of every single nuance and intricacy of the game that can benefit you, I don't think you're playing the position at its highest level. And Pat plays the position at its highest level. So, I also know if you do this, and I haven't talked to Mahomes about this, but I would assume he knows Antonio Pierce is telling his team, if Patrick Mahomes sits near the sideline, blow his ass up. And I think Pat knows that. And I think he's fine with it. And I think he knows if I do this, because he plans and thinks everything 10 steps ahead. If I do this at some point when my team needs it, I'm comfortable with getting my ass destroyed on the sideline when it comes back around.
They're gonna wake up the wrong motherfucker. We've been down this road before.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't have a problem with taking advantage of the way the rules are slated. Mahomes isn't the only one that does this, and he's not the only one inside the pocket that tries to make sure let's make sure my head kind of gets hit by a hand. Hell, that's the entire game of soccer is trying to manipulate the rules to your advantage. So I don't think there should be a problem with it.
If in the situation that he does it, sorry, let me cut you off.
Yeah,
I completely agree with everything you said. That wasn't what happened on that play.
Okay, and
that defensive lineman wasn't not running because he was afraid of hitting Mahomes. He wasn't running because he was hurt. He was tired. He just got his ass kicked on the play before that. And I documented. That's what the video was. It was why was he? I said this guy wasn't running hard. So I'm gonna go figure it out. He's on the injury report with a groin injury. Didn't practice on Thursday at all. It's limited. Talking about Kevin Givens. And then on the play before, he got trucked by Joe Tooney. Yeah. So that's why he wasn't running hard. But I disagree with you.
When you get near the side, it is hard for defenders for sure. Because it's not just 15 yards. It doesn't just change the course of the game. What else happens? You get banged on Tuesday for 15, 20 grand, out of your pocket too. So all of that is honestly, it sounds wild, is going through a guy's head. This isn't the Kenny Pickett slide, fake slide. Remember that when Kenny Pickett fake slide? It looked so smooth. Yeah. When he slid and popped back up. It was this almost slid and popped back up. But you should take advantage of the little things.
100%.
It's exactly the way you should play the game.
The
honestly.
defensive, the 12-man rule that they just outlawed in college football.
Oh, dude, no. Why would you bring that up?
I forgot.
Sorry, James.
I got 2 degrees up there.
You're the one saying you want to take advantage of it, and they should take advantage of it.
I know.
Just bring up
really
another
smart.
situation.
It was really smart. I was in Baltimore and I was texting my dad in the Uber because I was going to do Ravens and Commanders, and I'm like, I think they put 12 men on the field on purpose.
We could have a separate podcast about Will Howard. We could talk about Will Howard sometime.
Yeah.
You guys could
You've got some dudes.
Yeah, we do. I don't know. You got to know the clock a little bit better, but other than that, it's fine. He's better.
Yeah.
He's better than what we had. Kyle McCord, and I'm a Philly guy. All right, guys, I took up too much of your time.
I'm sorry for ending on that, James.
Yeah,
I appreciate you.
I know. I got to go do something else. Let's go. Hey, let's talk about the World Series. Hey, that will hurt you guys just as much as it hurts me.
Right. Yeah.
My Phillies collapsed. Tucker, great jacket.
Thank you.
Matt, good to see you. BJ, take it easy. Nice fireplace.
Appreciate you.
And guys, enjoy DeAndre Hopkins. I gotta get back to Kansas City. That's what we got to do.
Thanks. Anytime. Drink
Yes,
something.
thanks, Robert James.
Okay. I'll look at flights.